practice. It's in progress.
I agree.
Okay,
I
so I hope today you're having a great day. As we have promised, we are meeting here today to discuss about the importance of books, about reading books. So,
one of
Nicole,
our
knowing you,
topics.
you're a friend of mine. You've stayed in Dubai, you've stayed in Abu Dhabi, you've gotten exposed to this area and place, and now you're back in Romania. You and me have a lot of times discussed about like books in general, like what are you reading? Let's share. In fact, one time I'm very happy with this. You bought me a book which you are reading in your language, Romanian language,
I
and you
almost
had
forgot.
and you bought that book for me in English, and that book is by Anthony Robin, Unlimited Power. And we used to come and sit down and discuss all the chapters. Well, not all the chapters. We discuss the first five chapters, and I think that's how our friendship grew as well. Like whenever we find a good foundational connection with somebody and we keep it going, that's how a friendship also grows. So I would like to know a little bit about you and what are you reading in general these days. Since we are not meeting that often anymore, we have not really connected on a book. But since we have discussed about book and the importance of books and reading it, what is your thoughts about it? You can give me a little of your thoughts.
Well, my personal story
Oh,
with reading, especially reading nowadays, uh, especially since I became a mother and I dived deep into motherhood. I always find excuses, unfortunately, for not reading as much as I would like to read. I'm someone who's constantly buying books,
mm-hmm.
and I also believe that it's important that you have a small library in your house. Okay,
I can.
I'm not. Go ahead.
No, carry on. No, carry on. Let me not stop you. You're going in a very good.
So I will like, because I said, you know what? At least like I should not I should not stop buying books. Okay, I don't read as much as I want. Okay, but at least I should have like my eagerness and my passion for reading. I would say it never stopped, but
Mm-hmm.
it was there hanging. Like. And what I believe is like, okay, we don't want to demonize technology and in our
Yes.
daily life.
Mm.
But I mean, I feel like we stopped going into deep reading, okay, focused reading.
Yeah.
And I give you an example, like to make it more simple. Like if I have my phone next to my book, yeah, I would always be tempted to.
Agree.
"Ah, I forgot to place an order. You
Yeah.
know what? I forgot to check that email.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, everything is on our phones. Our shopping list is on our phone. Ordering something is on our phones. So it's again like it's important to use technology. Obviously, we cannot nowadays we cannot live without technology. But now we are like reading, I think, is replaced with faster, easier forms of content.
Yeah.
So
And to add to
to
that,
answer your question, yeah.
mm, and to
So
add to
to answer,
what you just said, how about audiobooks? Like, would you like would you
I'm not honestly. That's I love your question. It is a good question. I'm not into audiobooks that much. Why? Because I feel like I don't know, like I don't focus enough. I
Mhm.
think maybe the only time when you can really focus on properly on listening to audiobooks is maybe when you're driving, because I tried doing like just normal daily chores
Yeah,
while listening to and no,
audio.
no, for
It
me
does
that
not really connect.
personally. But like again, to answer your question, what I did like recently, I said, you know what, I will set myself like higher goals.
Mm-hmm.
I will go for the thickest books in my library, and
Okay.
I will aim on the starting and finishing one.
Mm-hmm.
And the satisfaction is great, and because it's like a small success if you think
Right.
about it. So you have a goal and you start working towards your goal. So if something was accomplished, in a short time. I was lucky because honestly, like, I read about this book, it had very good reviews. I immediately ordered it, and I said, I need to start this book. And yeah, so maybe I think for those, maybe there are people like watching or hearing or listening to this podcast, and maybe they will get some kind of inspiration from like my personal experience. That maybe, okay, because I think nowadays we're tend to also read a lot of the self-help books,
Yeah.
this
All
that
a
they
lot
think.
of us. Yeah.
They are very
What do
good,
you
but I
think
think
about that? Like, do you think that is helpful as well for people who are not so much into reading, people who just want to read to get the gist out of all the things they need, like they're like, I don't want to read the whole book. I just want to know just a little bit to help me with my current situation because sometimes reading the whole book takes a lot of time and you go through a lot of jargons as well reading a thick book, right? There is lots of things that you just want to get to the point of it sometimes. So what do you think about this, like reading a
I
full?
about if we talk about this category of books, okay, like generally speaking, it's like self-help books, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I believe they're very good, but two things. I think first of all, it has to really match and really, like be um, so compatible with a situation you're going through. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, maybe you have difficulties in your professional life. So, sometimes some books they just appear in our lives
Yeah,
when we need them. Like if you would have if you would have tried to read that book maybe a year before, it will not be so wow, minds like eye opening. But if you read it when you really need it, when it's really like resonating with your struggle, okay, then you're like, wow, this is the book for me. But generally speaking, I don't
yeah,
think
right.
I don't think you should read self-help books as if you're reading like for leisure, like as if it's literature, because I think it should be maybe under the guidance of a professional, no, or maybe like recently
Suggested to you.
a friend of mine told me she wants to open a book club, but
Mm-hmm.
with this category, with this type of content, like
Okay.
and you discuss like chapter by chapter, and you have a Zoom meeting every 2 weeks, and you discuss it. So I think it should be under guidance, in my opinion, or shared, or discussed.
Yes, I
And
agree.
the most important to be practiced, like to put it in practice, not
Yeah.
only read. What I did this time, I was like, I remember in my first year of university, if I can share a little story.
Of course,
I
you're
was in
open
my
to share.
I'm from Romania. I'm not. I think you might have mentioned in the beginning. I'm not sure.
Yes, I
So I'm
have.
from Romania,
Yes.
and
I love this. Yeah.
I'm from a small city. So for high school, I had to go to a bigger city, and then for university, I went to the capital, to Bucharest. So I was hosted, okay, by an old lady, okay. She had a spare room, okay, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like living there in this room, okay, like a rent. I rented her room, and she wouldn't let me. She had a TV. She wouldn't let me use this TV
Oh,
because she said it's an old TV, and it holds like a personal feelings for her, and she
yeah,
doesn't want
sentiment.
it,
Yeah.
okay. And then I'm not quite sure. I had a radio and I wanted to listen to the radio, and even she said no, the neighbors are just complaining of the noise, even though I was not.
Oh.
Anyway, so I only had to my studies, going to universities, and
Hmm.
books. She had
Hmm.
also library because for us
So,
it's like cultural thing, like
so
in
that is
each.
what. So let me just understand that that is how you warmed up into books. That is how you brought yourself into books.
I was cornered in a way, and the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
setup.
yeah.
And I thought it was academic kind of, because I went there to study, so this was my
Mhm.
main focus. Okay, I was studying, and then no, no social media at the time.
Obviously, you grew
Okay,
up in those era.
yes, yes. So I could feel, I had a feeling while reading so much. I had this feeling that my brain is like going to on a different level, kind of, like it's awakening in a way.
Wow,
So I
wow.
really
That's
love that feeling.
yeah, yeah. That's beautiful. Wow.
Yeah. And recently I'm like, no, I want that. My vocabulary started being like, I feel like it's more rich, it's easier for me to express myself. So what I did this time, I was like, my target is a novel. Okay. Because I used to think for so long that since English is not my first language, sometimes when I watch movies, I just keep the subtitle on,
On, right.
even though
Yeah,
it's in English. But it's like you have to read literally.
yeah, yeah.
So I
Especially
thought,
American movies. Yeah. They
yeah,
speak so fast in the beginning. They
yeah,
speak so fast. You need some kind of subtitles for that.
movies or yes, right.
Yeah.
Um, so I used to think for so long that I'm reading a lot. It's like, look, I'm watching series. How come I'm not reading? But no, I realized that your imagination when you watch a movie compared to even though you read, okay, comparing to a book when your imagination it's no, it's free to imagine. Maybe if they say dark shades of blue or violet describing maybe an object, like maybe it's in your imagination it's darker or it's, but in a movie it's just presented in a
It
way
wasn't.
that you even
It's not. It's not the main. It's not the main top subject in
I
the
believe,
movie.
yeah, I believe that a lot of brain cells and like neurons are like making a lot of connections when
Yeah.
when you go for the focused deep reading, like absorbed when you're absorbed in a story. So yeah, I'm speaking with excitement. After this
I
book,
love it.
I'm started a thicker book even after that.
Oh yeah, okay. So it's not just academic book that you dived yourself into, it's also books that you have cornered into, like you said, which is
At
quite
the time, yes,
interesting.
because
So
they were just yeah.
yeah, tell me.
I mean, for us, honestly, like I say it with like I'm proud about it, even though nowadays you not find it that much. But I'm talking about maybe 30 years ago, 20, okay, minimum 20 years ago. Like in each house, you will find a huge library. Like every Romanian, maybe not every, but I mean, in general,
Hmm.
yeah, in the living room, you will find a big library
Hmm.
full of books.
Of course.
Like, it's like standard, by default. Like, this is my living room, this is my library, these are my books.
Right.
So that's why, like, I think, without realizing, I copied this model. I cannot say in my house that I had this. I we were one of the exceptions,
Hmm.
okay, but in general, like even in school I used to be into literature and languages, so yeah, I had kind of a passion for
I like
the
that.
curiosity.
I really like
Yeah.
that. What kind of literature were you into? Like English literature or like
No,
what you
no, no, no. At the time, because it was also like kind of age appropriate, so I was mostly reading like Romanian authors, and
okay.
yeah. Plus, we were actually in school. We were like not forced. How do I say that? We were like it was in the curricula
Hmm.
to
It
because you
was
will
a
have to read books as a homework, and you'll discuss them in school. So yeah, so mostly Romanian authors. And I was into, of course, fairy tales.
Yeah, oh, those were the
Younger.
books that we started on. I remember in my case how our mother got us into reading books. It was this really nice blue book. It said at the top 365 days bedtime stories. 365 bedtime stories. So every day of the month, every day, you know, like on the 1st Jan till 31st December, there is one each story different. And then I remember I found two, three favorites of mine. So once I grew up, I used to always refer back to that story that I really like so much. And the story
Yes.
always had morals. Like we were taught
Oh,
morals
yes.
through
Yes.
these books, you know.
I
So
think it's very important too.
yeah, and I felt that it's really important to get your knowledge, seeded when you're younger. So,
Yes.
uh, for me, I feel reading leaves you like you forget your whole life, you forget your whole world. You are only in that book. Currently you are the character in that book, and what the character is going through and the way the author describes the character, it makes me exciting. If the author is not exciting, I feel like okay, I don't feel present in this character, so I'm not going to read the book further. But a lot of times some
That's
authors,
right.
they really know how to bring the attention to the character, and that is really beautiful. And I like what you said about the fact that you have learned so much, and also the fact that you were cornered into it, and that's why you have that, like when you had said something. Now I forgot what you said about this reading. Only you had said something about when you are reading. Sorry, I'll get back to that. But
You feel like your brain is like awakening, like
yes, yes. Like in that situation, you got something, and then your brain awakens, and you're like, wow. So thank
it
you for,
opens
yeah, opens corners of your brain.
horizon.
It removes all the spider
You're
webs
right.
in that part of the brain. So it's really
Oh,
good. So
I
I'm
love
really, really, really happy that we are on this topic currently. I think 30 minutes is just not enough for us to discuss. But Nicole, moving on, I would like to ask you about what was the last book or the last time you had read a good book and you finished it, like you were happy, you finished, you finally felt that, yes, I've achieved something. Is there like a book that you would like?
it's the book I mentioned earlier to you.
Mm.
So you see, because again, like why it's important not to speak bad about the use of technology in our days, because yes, we can get a lot of information, but it's very interesting and it's very important what we do with that piece of information. Because literally, this book, to be honest, I didn't know about this author.
Mm.
This book is written by a Romanian author.
Okay.
Maybe because he didn't live in Romania. Okay, he was not maybe so known, or at least I didn't know about him. So it's
Mhm.
a Romanian author, and I just saw it in a reel or something, like the reviews and somebody speaking about it. Okay,
Okay.
so I'm very happy because the story, it's a novel. Okay,
Okay.
by the way, it's translated, if I'm not wrong, in more than 25 languages. Maybe I'm more
Oh,
or less.
okay.
Yeah.
One of the best sellers you can say, right? Like if it's
Uh,
translated to many languages, means it's very much on demand.
yes,
With the
yes,
public.
yes, yes.
Mm.
French for sure, because I think he was in France when he wrote it. I might be wrong. I'm not very good with describing authors and titles, but like,
Oh, it's okay.
so yeah, I finished it in 4 days.
Oh
I finished
wow.
it in
Can you tell me how
Let's
thick that book
move.
was? Like,
Let's
and
move.
what was the like
By the way,
what
I found
attracted
out.
yeah,
Sorry, I was.
what
I
attracted
was so
you to
excited
that
when I
book?
spoke on top of it.
Okay.
The name. The
Yeah,
name.
no, yeah, the name, and what was something that you really liked about that book? Like, what it taught you. What
It's I really wish.
if you can
Yeah.
focus on one point, if you can just
Mm.
focus on one thing about the book that made you want to read in 4 days, like what was it? Is it because you were in competition?
In story, I think in this type of books when there is a story, okay, it's a novel, it's a story. I think you always wish for the happy ending. You know, you really hope that no matter, because okay, the story happens in unfortunately in during the World War II.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And actually, it's there are two stories presented in the books.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, um, in parallel, I would say. Okay, so um, I think yes, I was hoping because these two people, okay, and their families, they've been through a lot. So, but you always hope that okay, let's see, is it going to get better? Is it going to get better? Are they going to find out the truth? So like it's a kind of a thriller. So okay, so you are hoping that the more you'll read, the more you'll find out that finally their lives are becoming better.
Okay.
And then yes, you learn a little bit of history over there, because we live in nowadays where like you don't maybe really think much of what happened in the past. So um,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want
no, I
to, you want to
understand.
find out more and
It's
more
like
about.
finding out more and more, and why not?
Yeah.
Like recently, very recently, I watched a podcast, and he is one of my favorite podcaster on YouTube. He's Indian guy. He calls a lot of people to the platform. He speaks about so many different topics with different person, different topics. Sometimes politics, sometimes past history. So when he called upon this historian of India, and the one of the first two questions he asks is like, why is it important for the Gen Zs to learn history? And I was like, why Gen Z? Why not us? Why didn't he say the millennials? Why is Gen Z first? So he's only
Hmm.
concentrating a lot about for Gen Zs. Then I told myself, you know what? He's speaking about Gen Zs, but we are millennials. We are before Gen Z generation before that. But I don't know so much about history. I don't know much about my home country, my Indonesian history and Indian history, where my grandfather was rooted from here. So
This book, they open your appetite for actually educate yourself in areas that maybe okay you didn't go deep in school, or maybe it was not your favorite subject, but
it
they open
wasn't
your
that.
appetite
It
for
was the fact that
and you're
our
interested
history teacher,
about
like he explained about this history so well, you feel like sitting in the class. It was like a podcast, 4 parts podcast. Each part was 1.5 to 2 hours, but I sat through it because it was amazing. And I was like, this is part of our history, we must know it. The only thing about it is whenever we have a history teacher in the school, they just open the book, go through the syllabus. I have to finish the syllabus, this chapter on
oh,
this day on the student. That's why we
learn by
hate.
heart.
Yeah, we learn everything by heart because we have an exam
The
to that.
teacher and say it word by word.
Yeah.
And
So I
you're like,
feel
oh,
history is so important to read, to know, to learn. I mean, the first thing you need to learn about history is by reading, because from reading, then only it will grasp to your mind. And if you don't understand, again, you can go back and read again 2 3 times
yes,
again. That's the
yes.
importance of having a book. I remember once I asked you, do you prefer a book or do you prefer Kindle? Kindle is a digital book. We get all the same information, but like, no, babe, I don't like Kindle. I prefer books, to hold it, to open it, to smell the
I
pages.
know, or like yes, and I like
Yeah,
even when you put the you call it a
bookmark.
sign like bookmark. Yes, when you
Yeah,
put the book and you're like saying, "Oh, look how much I read," and like you want to
yeah,
do it more. It's
yeah. I like that.
becoming an ambition. Yeah.
So this is like one of the things that how a book is, makes you happy as well. Just buying the book. I remember when I was small, like when I was 17 years old, I used to love going to Kinokuniya. This is like a book store back in Malaysia. I used to love going there. I'm like, you know what? This is the only place I can focus. This is the only place I can choose any book, even if it's a cookbook, even if it's history,
Mm.
even if it's geography, any book that I pick, it's gonna give me something, some knowledge, you know,
Yes,
given in your
yes,
brain. And I also would like to say this one thing. Whenever I'm in a public place, let's say in a metro, or let's say in a coffee shop, everyone, a lot of times you see people with their laptops or their phones or constantly engaging a conversation with somebody over coffee. But I love to see a person, and I would like to, I even spy a little
same.
bit on what this person is reading. Like if I see a person reading a
Yes,
book, I'm like, I'm
yes,
spying. I'm like, okay, what book? What
yes,
is the
me
title of the
too.
book? And
I
I
want to
want
be title. I'm like, yes, yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. I do.
Especially if you're familiar with that book. Like I saw somebody reading Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus book, somebody reading outside, and I'm like, I know the book, I know this character, I know this, uh, what they're talking about. And I always wonder why is this person reading the book? And then one day when you actually get into a conversation, it becomes nice because a book is like, let's say 200 pages book, but what you capture, what your attention capture at that point of time while you're reading, not necessarily you will capture, not necessarily I will capture the same thing.
Exactly.
So
So it's so good
discussing a
to chat
book
about it. Huh?
has a lot of, I don't know, happiness, I don't know, euphoria. I think I'm trying to find the right words to say happiness, a lot of happiness,
Yeah, it's a
a
pleasure,
lot of
and you never know. It's like, it's you open and you find out. Wow, I really believe that because I know that today we agreed like we'll do it around half an hour, so we don't bore your
I will.
your people that are
Hmm.
watching too much. But I think we should do part two because I feel like there is still so much that we can discuss
I
about
agree.
what
I mean,
about that.
I mean it should be like it's a 40 minutes it looks like it's 40 minutes. I thought it
Okay.
was 30. I think recording is 30, but yeah. This is also my first time. Like
Uh,
my
I really I'm sorry, like if I can, because then I am afraid I will forget. About this book that I just read, I think I would like to give I'm not taking commission or something, but I think I feel like so many people will like enjoy this book. So I would like to mention the name. It's called the 25th Hour, and actually I just found out that it was brought like it was put in a movie. I don't know if there is an English
Oh, is
word
it?
or expression. Yes, the 25th Hour, 1967 with Anthony Quinn. Anthony Quinn.
Oh, I better Google it. I'm
So
not familiar with
I would love to
1967
see it.
actors, but okay. You can share it with me once our podcast ends.
The
The link.
25th, or it's called the 25th for whoever, like hopefully. I hope it will reach someone.
So
The
this is a
25th
mm,
Virgil Georgiou. But if you write the 25th hour book, it's only one. Because I think there recently was another movie called The 25th Hour, but I think this is 2000 something, 2000 recent, and it's about drugs and other things. So 1967, The 25th Hour.
okay, 25 hours. Okay, so
Yeah,
this is a book that you just recently read and
the one, yeah,
you found it
the about
very helpful for you. That's good.
oh, yeah, yeah. And I'm really keen to discuss it with someone because, as you said, like I capture things that, like I think it's important about humanity and about human mind. Like one of these, or maybe we speak about it in part two. I'm not sure, but one of the characters, the main characters, he was so like kind and naive in the same time, and every time something bad would happen to him, he will always find something good in it. Like the first time he was sent to a labor camp, in the World War II, because okay, somebody was
Oh, mm,
wanted him actually to be in this labor camp, and he wrote a report in the police that he's actually a Jew, okay, and he was
okay.
not.
Mm-hmm.
So, like when he was doing this heavy labor work, okay, digging for a water for a water well,
Mm-hmm.
uh, like very very hard work, like I don't know how many hours a day and very heavy. He was like, you know what? Once I'm out here, I will be so proud to tell my kids that look, this is where your daddy worked, and like whatever you see here, it's also like your daddy party. Like, wow! I was like, no, it's opening different views and different perspectives. He could see the good in a bad situation and the excitement in a it's a mindset. So, like it's a combination, learning some history with learning some humanity and mindset. And wow, like I
I
can talk
think
a lot about it
I
because
think
really
I
like,
would like to find out about that book if they have it in English. Like you said, they have it in a different
uh, it must be in English as well.
yeah. So I
I
think I
haven't
will.
had to yeah.
I think I'll do that. I'll find it, or if I can find a again a PDF soft copy of it, then why not? Because to find a specific book in a different country might be difficult. I think
Yeah,
so, but
I will
yeah.
also try to find that. But I'm thinking, Anjali, shall we talk a little bit about I don't know. I'm hoping that maybe younger people will listen to this podcast, or maybe, as we said, like I was one of those people always waiting for that perfect moment, to sit and enjoy my books. So just to give them maybe a boost, like a little bit of motivation, starting reading again in case they stopped. Okay,
Mhm.
so discuss maybe about the importance of reading, like maybe few ideas of why do we think it's important to read. I mean, we mentioned a few, I guess, already, like
First,
being
you
able
had
to express
yeah.
yourself.
What do you think? What would you say? Let's name five. What would you say? It's like what
I mean,
is
we discussed already about the imagination, that we like our brain will just um
enhanced imagination? Yeah, yeah, that's true. I
yes,
mean,
bring
you
things
know,
to life, like
like
yeah.
if you don't read, if you're a person who do not read and only rely on reels and rely on the headline news, you will lose half of your imagination. I mean, that
I
is
guess so.
really sad if you can't, wonderfully imagine things in your brains. Because if you want to be an architect, you should be able to imagine. If you want to be an engineer, you should be able to imagine. If you want to be even a dancer, you should be able to imagine. A politician should be able to imagine how he wants. So the power of imagination is for all occupation in this world. And I feel like when you concentrate on one book, when you tell yourself, yes, this is the book, then you remember the characters, you start to focus on what this character is going through, how his life, how he portrays things, how he views something. Like for me, a situation wouldn't be so bad if I know a person going through cancer. But for her, how she takes it, how she understands it in her mind, how she interprets it in her mind, it will be totally different and totally awesome to know how other people. If you want to know other people's opinion, read books. Don't have to ask them, because sometimes they like to weigh what you think, what about what they're thinking. Maybe you're judging them. But if you read their books, if you read their opinions from the books that they have wrote, you know that this is natural. This is like full, pure opinion of theirs.
Yes,
Nothing,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
it's not,
Backed
it's
up by
adulterated.
maybe research, experience, hours of, like studying, not just
Yeah,
because honestly, like, I mean, I don't want to speak to make general statements, okay, that can offend anyone. But let's be realistic. Anyone
but
can write
like,
about anything nowadays.
sorry to cut you, but we have 5 minutes remaining. So yeah, continue.
Yeah. So I'm saying that nowadays anyone can write about anything, right? So
Right.
that's why, as I said, I think it's important that we have some mm,
Base, foundation.
well, I don't find the English for like a benchmark, kind of like, okay, So these are the people I trust. Like if I want to gather information,
Right,
these are
right.
the authors, these are the professors, these are the doctors. Like
Mm.
being selective with the information, because I think, yeah, like when we start reading, maybe another danger or another is okay of not reading anymore books. It's like we're more vulnerable to misinformation, right? Like
Do you think it's in danger? Do you think people are not reading books enough? Or do you feel that
in theory, it's bragged that we all brag that, oh, it's important to read, but I think it's optional in practice. It's
what do you think is how do you think we should tell people to that reading is important? How do you think we should like corner them like how you were cornered you were cornered once? How do you think we should tell them that you know what? Because constant our phone is a constant distraction, you can say. So how do you think we put a alarm that okay, this is your reading time, forget everything else, go
oh,
to
I
it?
would I would I would honestly put the phone away.
What do you
Like
do? Like what would you do?
I
What did you do?
honestly, I think you should lock yourself in a room. Or
Without your
okay, if you're
phone
a
away.
mother and the kids are around, I don't know, go in the storeroom, go in the
Just lock
and
yourself.
okay, this is my time with my book. This is like I'm
Mm,
investing this time in knowledge, in letting my imagination free, and this is my time, and yeah, maybe even make an effort and leave the phone away.
mm. No, that's good. You know what? It's been really good to discuss about books. Obviously, this is not enough. We can speak more about books. So, is
I don't
there
mind.
any? Do you think that we could maybe suggest? You know what? Any book that you would like to suggest our viewers? Maybe any other than that you had suggested 24, 25 hours.
Okay, so maybe I can talk about the second book that I started,
Okay,
and
yeah, we have two
it's not
minutes.
as catchy, it's not as catchy as this one, but again, like you become more educated after you read it, and I like it because actually I like the style. It's written in a very nice style, a little bit funny, a little bit,
Okay,
So
I like
actually,
books like
okay,
that.
it's called Mona's Eyes. Mona,
Okay,
Mona.
yeah,
Mona's. It's
yeah.
a name.
You
Mona's
told me
Eyes.
about that book. Yeah, I love
Okay,
it.
yeah. So it takes you Mona's Eyes. So it takes you through all the big artwork from the French. How do you call it?
Painters,
Museums, and yeah,
yeah,
talking about Mona Lisa. We're talking about Raphael, about all the
previous famous painters.
yeah,
Is it?
yeah,
Yeah.
the all the artwork you find in Louvre, yeah. So it's the story of a grandpa taking his granddaughter
Mm.
that has some health issues, okay, and he wants to teach her beautiful
Yeah,
things because she's in the danger of losing her eyesight.
yeah. She's
So he
losing.
wants
She's about to lose her
so you
eyesight,
are learning with them, and
and I
again, it's
like
an
books like
exercise
that.
of beautiful imagination, like.
I like it because these types of books, right, they engage with your emotions as well. I think when a book engages with your emotion, makes you laugh, makes you cry, it's like
Like
that's
that, yes. Oh, yeah,
recommended.
makes you stop and makes you like contemplate, and yes.
Another thing, I have this application called the Goodreads. So
Really?
whenever you read a book, yeah. So whenever you read a book and the book is listed there, you just type whether you read the book, you want the book, or you're reading the book. So it's really nice to keep track of what books you have read in the past. So that
Yes.
also becomes one of my like pushing factor to read. I'm like, okay, in this year I want to read at least 4 books. Okay, record. Okay, so that was my conclusion. That was what I feel about why would I recommend a book to people if it gives me emotions, especially crying, laughing. gives me a feeling. I think about it 2, 3 days afterwards. I feel that book needs to be read by many people, especially people
Yeah,
who are
just
not
pause
readers.
and you think about.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like in today's day and age, what do you think? Are people getting back into books? With, authors are not stopping to write their books. They're not stopping to write their imagination down in book. Books are not stopping being printed. Books are still being printed. Do you think people are still buying books? Do you think they're still keen to have books around them, like how
I
we
mean, I don't
used
want to sound pessimistic. Maybe it's just my own personal opinion, my own opinion, my opinion. Okay,
to?
obviously it's personal. Uh, that maybe not as before.
Not as before, right? Like,
I noticed before. Like,
sad.
so I think we need some push
How do you
to.
think we should, like, get a person, at least somebody that you love, to read a book? I remember buying my husband a book, a small little book that I bought it from airport. I
Yeah, I
got,
think discussing it with someone, like it can be a friend,
yeah,
or why not make your own book club? Why not? You know,
yeah,
join a book club. I'm
yeah.
sure
It's
a
good.
Google search will, or a chat GPT, because the era of Google searches.
How do you know somebody? How, you know what? How do we attract people into a book club? Because not many people would like. I know 75% people in around my area, they like read. I don't read books. I don't have that much time to read books.
Yeah,
How do we
yes,
find them? How do we catch them?
that's like huge. Because let's be realistic. It's we are finding okay. We find excuses. It's easy to find excuses, but don't make excuses. Make time because I think it's a matter of priorities. How we actually organize our time. So if we think reading it's important in our life, as eating healthy, as maybe doing sports, we have to treat it as an important topic in our life.
Hmm.
And I think even if it's 10 minutes, but you create a ritual, just these 10 minutes. No, I want to. Because then I think it will increase your appetite. We have a saying in my language that uh, your appetite starts or comes when you're in the process of eating. Like, you know, as you eat, your
Hmm.
appetite is also opening.
Appears.
So just
Oh.
start eating. Like just start eating because the appetite will come, you know, something
Hmm.
like that. So I
That's
think
interesting.
maybe the same with the books. You're like, I don't really feel like when you put your gym outfit and you're like, oh, I don't really feel like, but somehow the outfit is already on, so I will go.
Let's
It
just
happened to me, you know. So maybe you need a forced push. Okay,
push
maybe
yourself into it.
maybe you
Hmm.
need like a very thin book
Hmm.
just to,
Start with a
to
thin book,
open
I
your
would say.
appetite. Just open your appetite again, like just
Uh,
amuse bush, just small.
what about a person who has not ever read, like you and me? We love books since we were kids, we are young, and then we stopped reading in the middle, and then now we're getting back to it. What about a people who, once they stop school, they're like, "Ah, I'm not gonna read anymore. That's it. Done with reading."
I read again. I read a lot in school. I don't need to.
Yeah. What about
So
those
we don't
people?
tell them, or like
The
how do they start?
backbenchers.
Like, again, Anjali, I think it's really a matter of priorities. You cannot really like. I think it has to come a little bit from inside.
Yourself.
Okay,
Mm.
excuse me. But I think this is how you should like maybe put a phone your way, make it a priority, have a library, maybe spread some books in your. Also, I tried this method. It didn't really work for me. The method worked like force push. I was like, no, I'm getting the thickest book that I have available, and guess what? I feel like then your books are getting thicker and thicker because you kind of like you want to
To
grow.
upgrade
And then
yourself.
what second day I spoke to a friend and she told me, recently I have also done that. I read the book is 900 pages. So of course I asked her, like, what's the book? And she told me it's a love story. So okay, I'm not, maybe I might not really be into this topic, but she told me no, like I finished it 900 pages. She said she finished it in 3 days. She said she was
Wow.
absorbed. So I bought
That's
it. I
what
have.
we do in seasons today. Like we finish 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8 seasons in 3 days, like Netflix season. But if you can do it with a book, that's like amazing.
I personally believe is not as valuable as putting your brain like into, because you're the filmmaker, like
Yeah.
the film. Yeah, it's not the filmmaker showing you how he imagined things. No,
Hmm.
you make your brain work.
Yeah,
So,
you make the brain work.
so
Somebody
I think
has,
underestimating the power of dating. We have
yeah,
kind of,
I like
you know,
that.
if it was up to me, or never know, maybe I would initiate something like this. But I would maybe introduce in schools educational program explaining and explaining kids and students like why is it actually important.
But they are already reading lots of books, their curriculums,
I know,
whatever.
I know. By the way, I even have in my family and through my acquaintances, like, yeah, maybe girls in general, I would say. I don't want to be separating girls from, but the ones I know, there are girls around 10, 11, yes, and they read a lot of books. Yes, some.
Hmm.
So that's why I don't think we should be pessimistic, but
Yeah.
maybe it's just an opinion. But yeah,
No, it's true. Like, I mean, for me, to currently, I want to read a book. I want to read a book that is about language, like to make me learn another language. I'm thinking German language because French, I know a little bit about French. English, okay. Indonesian is where I come from, so I know Indonesian. But French, German is something that is so interesting. Sweden, German, maybe Romanian, one time.
languages and musical instruments are really, really enhancing the brain's activity. Like learning languages, new languages, yes, it's a brain booster,
Yeah.
and playing a musical instrument apparently.
Yeah. Okay, okay. So is playing a musical instrument. I have zero knowledge of notes. I can't read notes. Can you?
No,
I wish I knew how to read notes. Some
I
people
mean it's never too late. I'm
like if
dreaming about learning violin, so
if you're so good at it, like I think it was Beethoven. I think he was deaf. One of the musician in the past, he was deaf, but he wrote a very beautiful.
uh, uh,
Trying to stay
more
here.
education.
Musician being like deaf, and he could create such a beautiful, because he understood the art of music. He understood, okay, this is how music will sound like. This is how he knew music was when he still had his hearing, I think. And now I can just create it. Like that should be how reading is to a person. Like when you bring the book, the minute you get into, see, we are not asking you to author a book. We are not asking you to write a book. We are asking you to just simply read. The
But
enjoyment you get.
I'm living with a writer in my house, like
Yeah,
my husband.
yeah, you have that.
I mean, he's a fresh writer,
High
but
point.
he's like
Yeah, you have that high point
I
of.
learned a lot from him, actually.
I have read a few good books as well. I have cried in some books. I have hated a character in a book because I know that character was described in such a bad way compared to her twin sister, who was such a docile person, and she was such a, she was an activist. Really nice book. I forgot the name of the book, but I know that a book can give you a lot of knowledge, and the memory a book keeps, the memory your brain keeps from the book you read lasts longer than when you watch a movie.
Oh yes, that you made a very good point. Definitely, and it makes you think. Like you still think about it. Yes, sometimes you also think about the movie you watch, but maybe yes, you will like memorize more words, like more, uh, you know, conversations, dialogues,
Yeah, yeah, the
the,
dialogue.
you know, emotions and emotions. You're right. Like
Emotions. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. I remember when that girl passed. Oh, God. It felt like as if I had a lost sister in that book when she passed in the movie. I mean, in the
well,
book.
tell you a secret. Like if I watch series, to be honest, I get attached to the characters.
Oh yeah.
I get attached. Yes. And then I kind of like look them up, like maybe read about their personal lives, try to find out a little bit more about those actors, especially if they're not very famous. But I get attached to them, especially if it's long series, because
Mm.
I like to watch this series that are like, about just life and relations and family, and like very like connected to reality. I am not really into science fiction or like, yeah.
Um, yeah, you're right. When it comes to series, I like to do a little bit of research on what I'm spending my time to. Like, is it gonna educate me? Is it gonna be entertaining? As long as it has to educate me a little bit, but entertainment it's needed. Like series like what do you call that? That B word. The one that
Uh,
was recently everyone is watching is in an old English settings. Um, I forgot the name again.
is it the name of the series or is the
Name of the series.
with
Um,
P?
B. B. It starts from B, but yeah, it's a good series.
Yeah.
Bridgerton, yes, Bridgerton, correct. Yeah, I like that. I like the story how it unfolds. I feel that I don't know if they have a book on it. I'm sure they have a book. I'm sure it was inspired. They have a
You
book, right?
know what? I would rather go for the book, to be honest.
Right.
And
Yeah,
then
but
I'll be curious
I
how
wasn't fortunate enough to find the book. I saw it from first introduction was the movie series. So yeah, and there was a oh yeah, I remember one Indonesian movie. It's called Ada Apa Dengan Cinta, means what's happening with Cinta. Cinta is the girl's name. So I remember that was my first Indonesian novel I read. And I remember when I was reading it, I was like, wow, when this is crazy. When the guy kissed the girl in her sleep, I felt it. Like I felt that kiss,
oh,
And then when I saw it in the movie, I did not feel it, not even 1%. I was like, hello, what the book
see,
is
that's
saying
a
and
good
what,
example of what I was trying to say. That's a very
yeah,
good example.
yeah, I felt that kiss, like the softness, the way they explain about the softness of the lips. So the way he spoke about the character was described in such a beautiful way. And when you watch the movie, it's like, oh my God, first of all, what type of person have you chosen to be the character?
I think it's more of a curiosity. Like now that I found out about the 25th hour, that it's also a movie, now I'm really craving to. It's just a
Craving
curiosity,
or scared?
but I'm
Because
pretty sure it will not be as good as the book. I'm
I would be
honest.
scared if I was you to watch something that will ruin what you already have in your mind. You're like, okay, I remember reading about 50 Shades of Grey, you know, the 50 Shades of Grey? Yeah, so I remember reading about that, the first book, and watching the movie. I'm like, this is not the right girl. She's supposed to be something else, you
Sorry, we shouldn't. I mean, I don't know if it's right to, but
So
yeah,
I like for me that is how I interpret things in my like I don't even like I'm so happy that I got to find you and speak about books to you. Otherwise, who do I speak about books to? I mean, people are like, okay, I read this book. Okay, great for you. Good, you read this book. That's it. There's no
yeah,
conversation about book, and I think speaking
yeah. So
about
let's keep that feeling going, and hopefully your listeners found this
something,
podcast helpful, hopeful,
yeah.
and hopeful. Like,
I like the
uh,
helpful part.
so yeah, I hope we didn't bore anyone too much.
Yes.
But I think what I realized listening to you, and I could sense even the excitement, like, when you speak about it, the excitement, the passion. So I think this is contagious. So yeah, I believe, like, sometimes the way we express ourselves, it's more important than the words.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
so we hope we are a good motivation for a lot
Yes,
of
I
people
hope we
to
are. At least you
contribute.
are. I know you have read, I think you have read more books than me. Maybe not in English, but in your own Romanian language. And I hope that I'm sure you will get more. If you're going to open a book club, I think that's gonna be amazing. If
Maybe one.
especially
I think I would like that. To be honest, I think I would like that because it's a pity that all this nice information that and all this I don't
especially
want it to
chapter
go
by
in
chapter.
vain. Like yeah, because as you said, some authors are like some writers are so good. Like
Yeah, that's it.
thank you
That's
for
it.
having me. I give all the credit to you because you chose this topic. Yeah.
Thank you.
It
I'm
made me,
so I think
it made me think of so many, when you mentioned this topic, it made so many questions came to mind. Like,
um yeah, I think this is a topic that is right for us. So,
mm,
I remember our first podcast, which was about health or what is required for women to do in their 30s, which we can elaborate on that later. But this somehow, I mean, I'm so inspired by you as well because first of all, you brought me back to that railroad about reading when you got me that book. You gave me that book as a gift. Was it like a Christmas gift? I don't remember, but you told me that it's really good book. Let's compare notes, and I was like motivated. I started reading, and I was like, "Well, okay, of course that's a self-help book." The book is called Unlimited Power by Anthony Robbins. So yeah, hope and pray we are gonna keep connecting this way and
yeah.
inspiring other
And
people.
actually, I really encourage anyone who hears that yes, they start sharing. Like if they read something interesting, they share it with their friends, and maybe they do what I did. Like I was like, you know what, I want to discuss about this book with someone. So why don't I gift this book
I
to
think it's a
someone
wonderful.
and let's read it together.
I think what you thought that time to give somebody a book, I think that could be a very good starting point for someone to get into a book. So encourage your friends to give
Yeah, do a
gifts.
challenge. You know what? Let's read the book
Book.
together.
Yeah. Yeah, books is a very good gift to start reading. That's it.
Mm.
I think I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna tell it to myself also. Give somebody, give them books. Of course, something that they like to read and something of their own, the language that they understand. But yeah, it's very good. By the way, I have some of your books with me. I'm gonna keep them till probably you want it back. One is called The
Yeah.
Wishing Cup.
Can you believe I moved and I left
You
books?
left me some gifts in the form of books. Yeah.
But it's okay. Like, if I ever get them back from you, fair and square.
Oh,
If
it would
not,
be nice.
I know they're in a safe place.
Yeah, yeah, they're very much safe. This
Safe.
wonderful
Don't keep them
podcast.
with me. Open them.
No, no,
Don't
I'm reading this book currently, Portrait of a Lady. The Portrait of a Lady. Apparently there's a movie on it, but I'm not gonna touch the movie until I finish the book. It's really in an own old English way. It was written in 1881.
Oh.
So you know how they really describe everything in pure detail. And as you open the page, it's like small, small writing. So it's taking me time to get through the book, but
But
yeah.
I believe it's like also okay, if something it's a little bit challenging, okay, even the satisfaction is greater, right?
I think so.
Because
I'll let you
it's
know.
really
I'll let you know.
this deep reading, the focused reading. It's encouraging it,
Yeah.
like no,
Yeah.
like
Do you think one thing, one last question before you leave? One last. Do you
oh,
think that we're reading book. Do you think it's important for us to have another open like another book to write down things about what we read about inside that book? It could be an inspiration, it could be a dialogue, it could be a sentence that is catches us and then we want to keep it for a long time so that we take
I
notes.
mean,
Do you think it's
you mean
important to take notes
notes?
early?
You can take notes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yes. What I do, for instance, what I do with this recent book that I'm reading, Mona's Eyes. I'm actually, yes, I have a notebook, yes, and after each artwork, they speak about the grandpa with his granddaughter. Okay, I'm writing down what's the, again, like, this is also like educating myself. I'm writing the name of the artwork, okay, the author of the artwork,
Mm-hmm.
and what's the, because each chapter describes one artwork, and it's a thick book, so again it's going through all the, famous and art, and um so I'm writing what's the, a small description of what the chapter is,
You're
highlighting.
writing.
Yeah.
You're writing some notes on it.
Just, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
You think it will be helpful when you write notes? Do you think you come back to it?
Yes, whatever it's written, it's better to, yeah. I used to learn like this for exams in school. Like,
Yeah,
if
you
I
read
take,
and write. Yeah.
because some people are very good with the visual memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when you write it and you see it, and it's even written by your hand, yes, that's a good.
Coincidentally, if you want a wish to be fulfilled, writing it down is also good. This is what I've heard, not tried it. Like if you want a wish to be fulfilled, write it down.
Ah, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Maybe that's
This
another
ends the
wishful
chapter
thing.
of today, the podcast of today about the importance of reading a book. I hope with our conversation, people will get some kind of knowledge, some kind of push for them to connect with a book or another. Okay. So thank you so much, Nicole, for being here with me today and being my wonderful, wonderful friend. Although you're far, let's keep connecting and speak about books. Hopefully, our next podcast, hopefully, our next meet.